So me and Adrian were talking about what it would be like if we opened a restaurant, pretending that the current circumstances don't apply, and what kind of anime characters we would hire to work at the restaurant. So we're gonna be drafting different characters from different shows, kind of like fantasy football. That's why I have my notebook and my pen. We're trying something different today. So I am picking characters by the Brigade de Cuisine, or basically who you have working in a kitchen. For my first character, you're probably expecting me to pick someone super recognizable, but I'm not, because I'm starting with people who normally work in the back of a station. And that's why I'm starting with Sato from My Hero Academia. I want him to be my pâtissier, or my pastry chef, because he's the sugar man. You know, I feel like in every kitchen, there's always a pastry chef who gets nicknamed Sugar Man.
Can you tell us about your flapjack, please?
Started making it, had a breakdown. Bon appetit.
And so in this way, it's perfect. It's built into his persona. As we all know, his quirk is Sugar Rush, in which he gets his strength from eating sugar. And as a chef, you definitely want to make sure that your staff is tasting their food to ensure quality and freshness. Plus, strength is gonna come in handy. He's big and brawny naturally as it is. And if you've ever had to whip up cream for icing, or if you've ever had to knead bread, you know how much arm strength you need to do all that, so he'd be really handy for that. Plus his favorite food is cake. You know, you definitely want someone who is making things that they actually like. He's also very mindful, you know, he's always sharing sweets with his fellow students, always thinking of which desserts to pair with what kind of tea Momo is offering, and you want someone who's mindful like that on your kitchen staff.
I think the only con that Sato might have is if he keeps eating sugar, his cognitive functions drop exponentially.
That's fine, because then that'll ensure that he's not eating too much of the food when he's tasting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not like hoarding all the food.
Exactly. Plus you can just make more. You know? Yeah, I thought about this stuff. Moving on from desserts, we're going to go to my sous chef. For that, I picked a very recognizable character. That's Soma from Food Wars.
Soma as the sous chef?
Yeah.
Who's the head chef?
You are gonna have to keep watching this video to find out. Before I even get into his spectacular cooking skill, I just want to mention that on a personal level, I love the fact that he grew up working at his father's diner. I am a child of restaurateurs, and so I basically grew up in the kitchen, bringing up customers and that sort of thing, so I think we would connect on that level. The thing that I appreciate about Soma as well is that he's very experimental and innovative. At a restaurant, you always want to make sure that you're finding new ways to please your guests and give them new tastes and experience that they can't get anywhere else. That's really important. Of course, there's his skills. He is someone who clearly has excellent knife skills, and he's very persistent, which you need to be if you're working in the back as a chef. And he's a workhorse. He doesn't lag easily, he doesn't get tired easily. He's been cooking for 5 seasons of anime. And as we've all seen, he's very capable of making flavors and experiences that are very enjoyable and pleasurable, shall we say. Jacob, you know what to put in. It's like all the orgasm scenes from Food Wars. Basically with a sous chef, you need someone who is able to deliver precise execution every time you need him to, and Soma would be perfect for that.
You know, with that diner point, I thought you were gonna go something along the lines of, with like a family diner, it's like usually small staffs, so the staff gets really familiar with their repeat customers. There was this one diner I used to go to every single week, and the waiter would just be like, 2 eggs, bacon, and hash browns, and waffles for you? Okay, I'll get that prepared right now. And we're just like, whoa, they know our order already. This is amazing. And I thought you were gonna go with like, oh, someone working at a small restaurant or diner situation, he'd know like everyone's like order or tastes.
I mean, I wasn't, but Jacob, we should put that point in if we can. It's always nice to be one of the regulars.
You guys want the usual?
Sure, why not?
Okay, and that would be what?
Moving on, my chef de cuisine, or my executive chef, is Nikaido from Dorohedoro, which if you haven't watched, you should. It's on Netflix, but I don't feel like that many people actually watched it. I don't have the numbers, I could be wrong, but that's my personal feeling. Anyway, she runs the local gyoza place, Hungry Bug. We all love gyozas. I feel like if you're in New York, then a good dumpling spot is sort of a mainstay in your rotation. As an executive chef, you are in charge of every little thing at the restaurant. You are dealing with the customers, making sure that the food is being well prepared, you're opening and closing, you're doing a lot of bookkeeping. As a one-woman show, I think Nikaido would be perfect for this position. Also, as an executive chef, you are handling raw ingredients, which means you are usually the person in charge of dealing with vendors and seeing what fresh ingredients that they have for you, and probably doing the butchery, depending on the establishment. And as we all know, she's someone who's not afraid to get bloody. Essentially, every time she's fighting someone, she is handling raw ingredients. And you need someone who is great with consistency. That's why I made her my executive chef as opposed to Soma, because Soma is prone to the occasional blunder, and I think Mikado is someone who would really rein him in. You know, she runs a gyoza restaurant, and if you've ever had to wrap dumplings, you know that consistency is key, making sure that each dumpling is nicely wrapped, evenly filled. Because she knows how to do that, I think she would know how to deliver really, really good food every time a customer walks in. Moving on from the back of house, we're gonna explore the front of house for a bit. Specifically, I mean my maitre d'hotel. I'm sorry to any French speakers who watch our channel. Maitre d'hotel. Basically what we, Americans call the maitre d', and that would be Chica from Kaguya-sama, Love is War. As a maitre d', you are keeping details with your customers, especially if they're repeat customers, and you're also in charge of your waitstaff. And as the secretary of the student council, I think she'd be really good at managing those details. When you are welcoming guests, you want someone who is a very friendly face. They're gonna be the symbol of your establishment, and you want someone who's gonna be a beacon of hospitality, and that's exactly her. She's extremely kind. She always has a smile on her face. She's surprisingly a really great entertainer, as we've all seen from the very first ending theme. She's a wonderful dancer, so she knows how to surprise and delight. And also, she speaks 5 different languages for no reason. So if you're getting international customers, then she's gonna be able to deal with them. That will instantly make your restaurant a tourist destination. So she'd be perfect. Plus, she's really, really good at balancing mayhem. And what I mean by that is Kaguya is nuts, but she's always good at talking her down. And in a crazy environment like a restaurant, especially when you are getting slammed, you need someone who's gonna be adding levity and calm to the room and temper all that chaos. And Chica's perfect. And we're gonna bring it on home with the most important position in any restaurant, which if you've ever worked in one, then you know. That's the dishwasher. And I want my dishwasher to be Speed of Sound Sonic from One Punch Man. What's so funny, Adrian?
I just kind of picturing him as like, I know he's very fast, but it's just like, I can't stop picturing that face that he makes when he like fighting Satoko. It's like that smile. I could just imagine him like washing.
Mm-hmm. You need someone who loves what he does. Obviously, he's very fast, and when you are seating lots of customers every night, you need dishes. If you don't have glasses, then you can't serve drinks. If you don't have any silverware, then you can't set the tables. If you don't have any pots, then there's no cooking that can be done. So they are really the backbone of every staff.
I want to make one point. If anyone's ever played Overcooked, you know how bad it is when you don't have.
Yeah. Oh man, Overcooked. I didn't even think of. All right. Well, that's our way to incorporate Overcooked into this video. Oh, I love Overcooked. Overcooked is a stressful game though.
Yeah, I've never worked at a restaurant, but it feels like this is how it is in the restaurant. Just like down into a really, really nice game.
The stress is the same. It's pretty much equivalent. But not only do you need someone who can quickly wash dishes, you also need someone who's not gonna get in the way, because in the back, it can get very hectic with all of the boiling pots and dirty dishes and slippery floor, you get it. So you basically need someone who doesn't get in the way, and because he's a ninja, he's gonna be able to keep up with a fast-paced work environment. Plus, he doesn't like people very much, which is great, because that means he's not gonna be distracting my line cooks with idle chatter, and he'll get the job done. So there you have it, from pastry chef to dishwasher. I know that those are only 5 different positions in a restaurant, and you would have very many more, but those were the 5 positions that I thought would be most important to run a wonderful eatery that people would actually want to go to. But hey, if there are more positions or different characters that you would think of for your restaurant, let us know in the comments. I'd honestly be very curious. I'm a big foodie, as some of us may know. But before we go, I wanted to shout out some of our big baller patrons. So that's Half Priced, Sugar Joe, Andrew M, Critical225, Kyle, and Eric Totora Patu. And for my viewer question, I'm going to address something that Yodoi failed to address adequately last week. Ariel Sanchez Mora's question, what's your favorite pizza in NYC? You don't realize how good the pizza here is, and you don't get pizza hype until you go to a place that has bad pizza, and then you realize, oh no, like what I had was magical. Kind of like that one relationship that got away. Not that I would know. Wait, no, cut that. I don't need that.
Give me the pieces, please.
My number one favorite is the original Patsy's in East Harlem. Best pizza in Williamsburg. Frank Pinello's doing wonderful things with his hands, by which I mean shaping dough. There's L&B Spumoni. There's, the name is blanking on me, but it's in Forest Hills. Lucali, that's what it's named. Okay, I think that's enough.